Hey you guys, it's Trey Vittetoe, and today I want to talk about kick drums. So what do you do when you have a kick in your mix that just starts to feel flabby or wimpy? It's just not doing what you want it to do. That's a big deal for producers. We obsess over kicks. We can spend hours going through hundreds of kick samples, trying to find the right one, maybe layering up our kicks, trying to find the right click on the front end, trying to find the right personality and body and low-end tone. And what may seem great at the beginning of your production, by the time you start layering sounds on it, you may find that even then, the kick no longer is doing what you want it to do. It just doesn't have the same feel, it doesn't cut through the same way, and you may be right back at searching for another kick all over again. The bottom line is frequencies are finicky. Sounds interact in a certain way with each other. And so part of a producer's job is to figure out how to make everything interact in a proper way. So in the session that I have up today, this was a partially finished production. The guy that sent it to me asked me to finish the production. I did quite a bit of vocal work on it, and I had to add a drop. One of the first things I noticed was I just didn't love the feel of the kick. I'm just going to play a section of the song. So this is with the original kick. So the kick is there. It's not cutting through. It doesn't have any particularly strong feel. I want to play a little bit of the original kick by itself. It's not bad. By itself, you'd think, okay, it's got some body. It's got some good low end. Doesn't have a great front end for kind of a dance feel. But I can see how starting out with that kick, you would have thought, okay, maybe that will work. But in the mix, for me personally, it did not. So what I did was I took what I liked about the original kick in this song and I kept it, which was the low end and some of the personality. I kept the sub elements of the kick. So if you look at this, you'll see what I did with his original kick here. Now if you look at it, if it's not evident, what I've done is I've rolled off a bit of the front end, so it has no click whatsoever. It's just really the low end body, the sub portion of the kick. Then I brought in a new kick that I really liked a lot. Now that kick has some good it has good personality, it has pretty good front end, but I still wanted, especially for a dance sound, I wanted a little bit more click on the front end. So I ended up bringing this in. I'm going to play them all together now. This was my final kick. Then I'll separate it so you can kind of hear what each one is adding to the sound. So let's look at what they're doing separately. This is without the click and without the sub. Not bad, but definitely missing a little front end with the click. All right, so I have one more example I want to show you today where I have a kick that I really liked, but it certainly wasn't cutting through correctly when everything was layered on top of it. So the section I want to show you here, you'll hear both the kick without the bass and then with the bass, and just see how it feels. I just felt like that kick wasn't quite doing something there. It's got a great sound to it. Listen to the kick by itself. A couple of things I recognized once the bass came in is the kick felt a little long because the bass, it's pretty big bass, and so the kick needed to be a little shorter, and it probably didn't need as much low end because the bass was handling so much of the sub. The first thing I did was rolled off at about 30 hertz. It's subtle, but it definitely cleans it up a little bit on the low end. So the next plugin that I brought in is a transient designer. So the purpose of me bringing this in was, again, with the bass, I just felt like the bass was so fat, it had so much presence. I just felt like the kick didn't need to be doing as much work lengthwise. I wanted it to feel a little shorter, a little bit tighter kick. You'll see I didn't do anything to the attack, but I rolled off a little of the sustain on the kick, so it's just feels a little shorter, a little tighter. So this is without the transient designer. So that definitely tightens the kick up. All right, so the next thing that I brought in was the TransX. This is a great Waves plugin, very simple. This really focuses on the transient of a sound, so it can give you a greater attack, it can soften the attack. It's got some great presets, acoustic, kicks, snares. These are all great presets to start with and play with. So I've just given a little more attack, just a shade more attack on the very front end of this kick. Okay, so it's subtle, but it's there. So if you listen to that kick without any of these in, but again, I still wasn't feeling like it was cutting through in a great way. And I don't always use a click on the front, but in these two examples I did. Pretty light. All right, so you hear what's going on there. So let me bring that in. Cool before the bass comes in, but once the bass comes in, it's necessary to feel that kick stepping out, coming up front a little bit. All right, you guys, I hope you enjoyed this. If you learned something, I certainly hope you click like and subscribe. Until next time.